I'm going to speak from a legal perspective to answer that question. And
Thunder.
compliments of the new year to you and everybody, Mr. Reid.
Same to you, ma'am. Thank
It's
you.
great being back here. This is not my first time, but as usual, either I'm peeping through or passing through and I see the headline there. But to answer this, and I'm not speaking from a personal perspective, I'm going to speak from a legal perspective to answer that question, and it is generalized to everyone. In an instant like this, had Mr. Jakes retaliated, he would have been within his right. And in any court of law, had any incident, death, injury, or anything had resulted from his retaliation, he would have not been imprisoned or be in any trouble in the long run, because of all that has been going on the social media. Miss Rosalie has been her best witness as it relates to her plans for him and all the other incidents of provocation, abuse, verbal abuse, berating, and disrespect that she has shown. She has already spoken from her own mouth. She has borne witness against herself in many instances that it relates to her plan as to what she intends to do with him.
Okay.
At the least opportunity she gets. She also directed it to any female that he is associated with. She has been her best witnesses, and all those evidence is out here on the social media. Had he retaliated anything, that there would be no justifiable reason for prosecution or her lawyer or her to find to say that would justify her coming into contact with him in that aggressive manner yesterday. It appeared to be premeditated based on the fact that she approached him aggressively and she brought with her allegedly a weapon with which to use. And I feel for her, because it is obvious that she's not in her right state of mind. And then that leads me to show even more sympathy, because of all these thousands or maybe hundreds of so-called followers, isn't there someone that she respects enough that can help her? Because this is obviously a lady crying out for help. And you can't tell me that everybody they name themselves cult member, they call themselves group member, they call themselves sister, girl, wife, and there's nobody at all out of all these hundreds of people that she respects enough that can help her. This is a lady who is down. She's at her lowest now. Her actions shows that she's not in the right space. She needs help. Now, with all these love that she has out there, can someone help this lady? So the answer is yes. Had Jakes retaliated, he would be well within his rights, Mr. Reid.
Okay. And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Please, without putting you too much out there, you can decline to answer. Are you do you work in the legal field?
Definitely, sir. I'm a serving member of the JCF.
Okay, thank you very much. I want.
So, yes,
yes.
and it's general for everybody. These incidents, you see, what people don't realize, is that we are everywhere. And whatever there is that we are to see, we see, and what we are to know, we know. And what is to be referred, we referred them to the relevant sections and people to be dealt with. And this case is really no different. But for general information, since they have a volatile relationship, which in other words, they don't get along, there was no reason to approach him as it relates to this television. Because one, you can't force him to do it, and you approaching him aggressively will not make him do as you say. So anything that had resulted from this, the court of TikTok can say all they want, but I can say legally he would have been vindicated of any responsibility, because he would have been defending himself. And if I'm going to just put myself and you. Had you been Rosalie, Mr. Reid, and I was Jakes, had I defended myself and any serious harm came to you, naturally I would be arrested. Now my attorneys then would only have to go no further than TikTok to gather all the evidence to prove to the court that I was threatened, I've been intimidated, I've been provoked, I have been berated, and everything else, and threatened. And then I would walk home freely and have myself a wonderful dinner. So for those who love her, this should make them realize that she needs somebody. Cult members, sisters, besties. And you know, it's sad because if Rosalie is leading all these people, they're dogs on a leash. So it's simple. They obviously, she don't respect any of them. And none of them are capable or able to open her eyes or assist her with any form of help. But instead, what they appear to be doing is cheering her on. I passed a live yesterday immediately after this incident occurred, and her supporters were actually there blaming, cursing, berating Jakes, saying that he's wrong. And the man was right there playing a match with 3 other people on screen. So this is what they do, and you call that support. You cannot support me onto the edge of a cliff and cheer me on while I jump, and then you claim that you love me. Loving me is being there for me when I need you the most, is being there doing all that you can to help me, get me out of trouble, keep me safe, assist me where I need you. Not to follow everything I do, even when you know it is harmful or dangerous to me. And as soon as she comes to her senses and get the help she needs, she's going to realize what all these followers were about. Because she needs help right now. She's crying for help. It's obvious. And she's a sister of the soil. She's a Jamaican woman who has struggled for a while to reach where she is. She's hardworking. She's been there for her children. So this is obvious that something is not right with her. Is there nobody at all who can do something to help her? Now, Jakes, on the other hand, has some options. And he might continue this until he is the one who ends up also being arrested and charged for something if he doesn't have enough witnesses at the time. Because he has the option of having her arrested for common assault. Common assault, she did not actually injure him with the weapon, but she made threats. She brought it to where she came to him, and she removed it and had it in her hand as if to use. So with that, he could have charged her for common assault. Then he would have been able to take out a restraining order against her. Now, with that being before the court, it would also be a form of help for Miss Rosalie. Because then the court might have made it mandatory for her to receive certain social interventions, such as counseling or anger management or something. So though it may sound harsh to say have her arrested, that would be a way of the court forcing her without asking her, forcing her to get some help. And that might have helped her as well. And that would have been in Jake's hand and Jake's capability to do. Because such a charge as common assault is not no prison time, nor no jail time per se. It would just be a good way. And I commented it under one of the screen records. She should have been arrested and brought before the court. Because it would also limit her chances of being in custody, her children being returned to her. But such is this behavior as well. So it's either it doesn't matter. It's between a rock and a hard place. It's just what it is. And I don't see things getting better from here if no intervention is done. I see where it's going. But Mr. Reid, it can be a whole day, which I know you don't have. All I'm gonna
No, no,
say
no, no, no,
is,
no, 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 no. Don't stop, please. Continue, please. Educate us.
and it's for
Educate us.
everybody. It's for every. We have seen where she turned the camera on him all this time. He was minding his business, doing his live stream. That's called provocation. She was seen provoking him. She would came on a live stream, and instead of saying, if the situation is true, you have a preteen and another child a little younger. If this man is not their father and you wanted to tell him that, the children should have been your first concern. I would take you should have taken those children, have a sat with them, and indicated certain things to them. You bawling that out on social media, whether it is a joke or it is true, it is just another way of you mentally abusing your children or emotionally abusing them. Because even if they never heard it and they were not online, they are going to school, Mr. Reid. They have friends at school. Kids get into disagreements at school all the time. Now, how would it be for someone to say, go your jacket? Your mother talk on social media, say, your daddy, I know your daddy, your papa, I know your papa, your jacket. Go girl, your jacket. That is mental and emotional torture for a child. Then we heard you say, tell the daughter, go SYM. Yes, granted, I thought it was a joke, really. We figured you meant it as a joke. But Mr. Reid, that is not how all of society speaks. That's not how all of society thinks. There are kids going to her children's school who don't communicate with their parents in that manner. Now, if you should make your kids think that this is an acceptable way to speak, it's just a joke. People say it all the time because you hear other people in CVU say it, fine. But you say to a kid at school, that child reports it to the teacher, and their parents gets upset and come to you. That's really not how every parent speaks to their child. You are teaching the child now that this is an acceptable way of communicating. So if teacher says something to her, can she tell teacher, go SYM? When you degrade their father and berate their father, you're automatically doing the same to your children. You are trying to tell them you're a product of all these things which I call him. This is who you're from. This is your bloodline. This is your DNA. He is all of this. Without taking into account that this is just 4 months or 5 months ago that you were actually cohabitating with the same person. So all of a sudden, within 4 years to 5 years, he's dirty, he's nasty, he smells, he has bumps, he has all kind of things. But he was there with you just a few months ago. You were wallowing in it just a few months ago. So how better are you than him? How badly do you think you're making him look? Or is it you, yourself, who will look bad? Then you give your supporters permission to come in on the public social media and speak down about your baby father, your children's father. Women who he doesn't know from a can of paint think they has the authority to come out and disrespect him, call him names, speak about him in the most derogatory terms. You give them permission to debate and decide about things in your relationship to the extent that they are making comments about retaliating against him on your behalf. So I really hope they understand that at the end of the day, when arrest is made, when remember the kids were gone, how many of these followers were at the court supporting her? How many of them were standing there with her as moral support? If she's in custody for the unaliving of her baby father, how many of them would be there in the line on a visiting day? I've seen this for years, Mr. Reid. I've seen it all the time. Nobody sticks around when that kind of trouble comes. So I can't down on Rosalie too much because of the very reason that I don't think she's in the correct space of mind, Mr. Reid. What we are concerned about now is how is it possible for someone to assist her in getting the help she needs? Not one person out of 500 cult members? Not one sister girl out of the WhatsApp group? That is why people need to have a mind of their own and be a leader and not a follower. Because I think that is the reason why it's so hard for anybody to reach Rosalie, because she leads all of them. Now, if she's the leader, why would she listen to you? She's leading you. Hence the reason why she doesn't have the help she needs. So I'm saying to people, this is not, there's a law that governs every country. And in Jamaica, the law of TikTok doesn't matter. Because if it was the law of TikTok, the threat that she made towards the children, it would have been long gone. But there are some people who does not think that is acceptable. And it's not acceptable and will not be accepted. And there are many of us who the safety, well-being, protection, and security of minor children are in our concern. And whether it be social media or anywhere, if we see that being breached, we are going to do everything that we can to protect them. We are going to report them when we see them. We are going to forward the evidence to the relevant people. We are going to communicate with hierarchy as it relates to what actions can be taken against these persons. It's too frequent and it's too readily received and ignored. I have not heard cult members come out on their platform and talk about the children. You don't have not necessarily any details, but what happened, we have not seen this. If we had seen this mother spend time with her children, them living so close to her, Mr. Reid, the daughter could have come down her hair every day, right there while she's even on live stream. You know, cooking for the children. If it was they were my kids, they would have to be eating at my house every day because they're too close for me not to be involved in their lives. I still have the opportunity to wash their clothes, to make sure everything goes well for them, spend time with them. We have not seen screen recordings or live streams with them going out to Devon House, to the park, to an outing, a little excursion. We don't see no shots of them doing homework together. And these grown adults don't seem to be too much concerned about the children. The children seem not to be the topic here. And it's very disheartening, and it's unfortunate. It's just Rosalie who is the hot topic. It doesn't matter if one parent is more financially stable and is more able to provide materially for the children. In any case, one or both parents would still be responsible for that. But as far as we see with this dynamic here, both parents appear to be playing parts in the kids' lives. Frankly, in our eyes, the father is playing a more integral or more meaningful role in the children's lives. Meaning, we have seen him walk them to school. He says they eat by him every day. He sees them on a daily basis. We have overheard them come to him while on live stream, communicating with him one way or the other. He seems more involved with them socially and personally He says he helps them with homework. That is also a very important part which courts take into consideration. So do not think that the court of law think he's a deadbeat just because he does not have the money, enough money to give them lavish things. On the contrary, that is just a minor part of what the court or the law cares about as it relates to children and their well-being. Because you can be feeding your children and you beat or abuse them. Giving them pretty clothes and you leave them up to danger. So the material part is the least. Making sure they go to school and go clean. Making sure you help them with their homework. Making sure you know where they are at all times. Being involved in their lives. We see the father doing that. On the other hand, we don't see the mother operating in that capacity. So we can forget about the whole TikTok crowd and the fan base. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to decision making, none of that will have any bearing on the children and the situation concerning them. She needs help, Mr. Reid. And if you have a suggestion, if you have a way, if you know somebody or how she can be assisted, because that is my concern. She cannot continue down this road that she's on. It is not going to end well for her. And it's not going to end well for the kids. The children need their mommy. They need their parent. They need their mom. I am sure they love their mother. They want their mother. And I think she loves her children too. We are not trying to doubt that she loves her children, which is why we know there must be something wrong somewhere. Because too close to the next court date, you can't decide that what you did yesterday would have been a good idea. It's obvious now. If we had any doubts, it's obvious now that something is wrong. If you so have the power, Mr. Reid, and can make any recommendations and can reach her in any way.
I am thinking, I was going to ask you when you're finished, if it's okay that I could just take this part of the live and post it on my platform so she can hear everything that you had to say. And if not,
absolutely.
I will do that. I will do that because again, her supporters and followers will see this.
Yes.
And would have,
I have been run up on in comment section because you see, I cannot afford to be biased. I have to be objective, and there are 4 different persons involved, human beings involved in this issue. So sometimes my opinion that I type may not be something that they like, and they would call it hate. You're hating on her, but on the contrary, they don't realize it is our love and care and concern for Rosalie why we speak the truth. She needs help. She really does need help. She really does.
Most definitely.
So thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much. And I mean, I guess a lot of persons don't, because I remember you now, but a lot of persons don't know your profession. That's why I asked. You know what I mean? So they feel like for the person in the comments who is thinking that she's one-sided, she's actually speaking from a legal side. She's an officer. She works with the JCF. So please, she's not talking. She's just talking factual and giving information that these things need to stop. So please don't do that. Try not to do
I couldn't put that out on the public if it were just my opinion.
Exactly.
So thank you very much again for having me. As usual, it's been a pleasure, Mr. Reid. So I'll be seeing you around.
Okay, my lady.
You have an amazing afternoon.
You too, my lady. Thank you. Bye.